This week's theme on the Retirement Quick Tips podcast is What I'm Reading, Summer 2024 edition. I've curated some of my favorite articles, things that I've read recently that I think are relevant for you as well. So today's article comes from Bloomberg News. It talks about how the majority of middle-class Americans say they struggle financially. The article wasn't precise and very clear in defining middle class, but I think that that's a good place to start. It sounds like this poll that they're referencing from the National True Cost of Living Coalition looks at people anywhere from 200% to 500% of the federal poverty level. And it looks like that's some household making anywhere from $60,000 to $150,000 for a family of four. It sounds like that's how they're defining middle class. So I think that's a good place to start because we want to know what the income and the demographics are of this particular group and how they're defining the middle class. And so the article says almost 2/3 of Americans considered middle class said they are facing economic hardship and don't anticipate a change for the rest of their lives. That is very depressing. This is not good. Okay. As people say, the kids are not all right. And by many traditional measures, the U.S. economy is strong. Now, I wouldn't say it's strong, but we're not in a recession. We have low unemployment, housing. If you live in a house and you're not looking to buy a house, but if you own your home, you've seen your house value go up. You've seen your 401k, your portfolio go up. And the GDP, or the economic output of the United States, is in positive territory. Now, of course, we have inflation. We have higher interest rates. And a lot of that is at the crux of what the problem is and why so many Americans, millions, feel financially insecure. So really what it comes down to is breathing room. And many Americans have a lot of debt. That might be student loan debt, car debt, housing related debt, credit card debt. So some of these are fixed. If you have a mortgage or a car loan that you got in the last few years, hopefully you're not paying 10% on that, and you're not as impacted by higher interest rates. But a lot of those rates are variable. And a lot of the things like student loans, people weren't having to pay on their student loans during COVID, but that has restarted again. And so I talk to people every day. I do a good portion of my clients are actually 401k plans. And through my work as the advisor to these 401k plans, I do a lot of employee education meetings. And I also talk with employees one-on-one. So I'm not just talking to people close to retirement. I'm talking to people of all demographics, ages, income levels, et cetera. And I see this every single day. People are struggling. They have a lot of debt. If they have credit card debt, they've seen the interest rates on that skyrocket and it's become more expensive to service that debt. And they just cannot get ahead financially. So high levels of debt, low amounts of savings, even just I'm not even talking retirement savings. Like that is really far down the road for many people because they're struggling to pay their bills. They're struggling to pay their debts, and they're struggling to even maintain a cushion of savings in their bank account. This is really common. You may have heard this before. I hear this every single year, and it doesn't really change that much, but it's a bigger problem now that everything costs more because of inflation, and debt costs are higher too. And that is most people, 28% of people have no savings at all. And only half of people responded in this survey could cover a $2,000 expense without putting it on a high interest rate credit card. 18% of adults said that the largest emergency expense they could handle because of their savings and what they have in the bank, under $100. So lots of people have very little financial breathing room because they simply do not have a pile of emergency savings in their bank accounts. They have a lot of debt, and that's eating into their savings even more just to pay the debt. So really big problems here, and it's not good. Many of you listening, you would qualify as middle class because of your income level. It's a very difficult spot to be. It's not healthy for the economy long term either. Aside from the personal hardship, it's not healthy. We need a healthy and robust middle class. More and more, it seems like things are very divided. The people in a good spot financially with low debt who have seen their wealth grow tremendously over the last many, many years are in a great position, but millions of Americans are not. And I don't have any answers for that, but It is a problem and it's not good for the long-term health of the economy. We need most of Americans to have some breathing room financially and to be okay financially. Yeah, I do have some concerns about that. I hope things can change. I hope inflation can come down. I hope interest rates can come down so people can start getting above water. And I think there needs to be a cultural and a mindset shift among Americans to have like an allergy to debt. We are not allergic to debt. We don't understand how these payments accumulate over time. So something needs to change. All right, that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening. My name is Ashley Michike, and this is the Retirement Quick Tips Podcast.